Welcome back to the Be Strong Show. I am your host, Michelle Shirley, CEO and Chief Heart Officer for BeStrong International. If you have not heard about us, I don't know where you've been. Please follow us on all of our social media pages, BeStrong Intl. We are all about fostering meaningful connections and strengthening relationships. And so I want to let you know that Give Miami-Dade is huge in Miami, put on by the Miami Foundation. Nonprofits all over Miami will be asking for your support. Don't forget about us. It is November 21st, and early giving starts Sunday, November 17th. So please support our local nonprofits. We are doing incredible work, and we have amazing leaders that need your support on those particular days. And with that said, talking about an amazing leader, wow. I have my friend, my colleague, my person who I vent to often about nonprofit struggles, the wonderful Jay Martinez, and he is the CEO of Hope for Miami. And so welcome, Jay, to the show.
Thank you for having me. Awesome. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. So let's get right into it, right? I want to know, well, we spoke before the show that you are from Miami. Mm-hmm. The validating question usually is, what high school did you go to?
What high school did I go to? I went to G. Holmes Braddock Senior.
What? Go Braddock.
1997. It was the largest school back then. It was 5,000 students.
Wow.
5,000 students.
Wow. I remember when Braddock came on the scene. Yeah, it was a big deal. Very cool. Very cool.
Brought all of Miami together.
Yeah.
All the students from all over the place.
Yes. It was a thing to be reckoned with back then. Yeah. Wow.
Still
all
is.
Right. Yeah. Still is. He's like, I'm still good. All right. Well, I got to represent the Vikings. Go Vikings. Right. Love that. So tell me, a little bit about how you got into Hope for Miami. Like, how did you find out about Hope for Miami?
Wow. Well, as you know, I'm a military veteran. So I was in the Air Force.
Thank you so much for your service. I hope you enjoyed that day.
It was.
We celebrated you.
Yeah, we had a picnic, playing sports. That's my
very nice.
So
very nice.
With our family.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. So I served in the Air Force. Getting out of the Air Force, I was wondering what I was going to do in life. And I got my physical education degree because I was going to be a PE coach and be a basketball coach somewhere.
Right.
I tried to go back to Braddock and it didn't work out. So while I was attending FIU, there was a veterans department. And that veterans department, they sent a email out asking that if we were interested to be a part of Up to Us, coaches across America. Basically what they do is they take coaches and they put them into urban areas, underserved areas, and to teach kids the connection between sports and life.
That's really nice.
So it's sports youth development. So I was like, I love it, coaching.
Right.
And I started to see the connection. So I was at Touching Miami with Love for 6 months.
Stop.
Because that's why the veterans that the program that I was in, the Miami Heat was sponsoring it. So for 6 months, I was full-time at Touching
Miami for Love with the amazing Trina Harris. We got to call out Trina. We love you, Trina.
Yes, we do. And so I was there for 6 months, and then one of the guys that was at Hope for Miami, a part of the veterans program, he was like, hey, they have an opening in this organization, and I think you'd be good for it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm done with nonprofit. I'm going to go back to do construction, what I was doing. And I was like, I'm okay. But he kept asking me, submit your resume. So 4 times later, after he asked, I was, you know what? I'm going to submit my resume. So I got hired in February of 2015 and haven't looked back.
Wow.
I started off as a health facilitator with Project U-Turn, and that's where I met you when we went to the DOH. The technical
Trainings,
assistance. There was Tallahassee, and I found a home doing what I love to do, and it's making that connection of coaching, not just coaching a sport or something, but coaching life. What we do.
That's so powerful. You never looked back. Now, that's rare.
Yeah.
It is rare these days to find someone who is still at the same job for that long, right? And we don't call it a job.
No.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
It's something that we love to do. We wake up in the morning and you feel like energized that you're changing people's lives in so many ways, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you going. I mean, occasionally we look back at the rearview mirror, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't turn our heads, but we're like, hey, I don't know. But I think that's what I got from this was, we take our experiences and we keep moving forward.
Wow.
That's the biggest thing. Is taking a step forward every single day,
Yeah.
day by day.
Yeah.
And that's what my experiences have gotten me. And I don't want to say like lived experiences, but lived expertise of everything that's happening in our lifetime.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I'm hoping you're encouraging someone today, because someone today might be listening and saying, you know what, I love nonprofit work. I'd love one day to be a CEO. Maybe you can share a little bit about when that timing was and you realize, like, I really want to lead this. I really want to take that next leap of faith and like step out and say, I want to be the CEO of this. And how did Yvonne, which I know her, take that?
Well, I think for me, coming with the Air Force experience, because I already was managing budgets in the Air Force. I had millions of dollars in my hands that I used to spend because I worked in the cardiothoracic surgery clinic when I was in the Air Force. So I was a medical technician.
Okay.
I assisted with whole family practices, clinics, everything.
Wow.
So the experience that I had was, you can go to school for it.
Right.
But I already had it hands on. So me coming in as a facilitator, it was more for the passion and the joy of connecting with the youth.
Right.
And seeing them transition from somebody who did not want to be taken out from physical education to learn about not having sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, they're going to tell us not to have sex.
Right.
It's more than that.
Right.
But we'll get there, right? So seeing that and seeing what the organization did, I used to look at Miss Yvonne and Mr. Rick, because I used to sit right across from their offices.
Oh.
And I used to say, you know what, I think I can do this.
Wow.
I think that I have what it takes to be able to do this. And I took the inspiration or motivating the youth into motivating staff. So then I became the program manager for Project Youth. It's like, okay, now staff is going to be motivated. I'm going to put a little bit of structure that the military gives you. That some of us nonprofits, we don't have that structure.
Yes, let's not talk about it.
So I brought a little bit of that, and then also the thoughts of branding, and because I recruited for the Air Force too, right? So I had sales.
So you had
marketing.
so many skill sets.
Right. And it's like, that's what you need. I mean, as a nonprofit leader, you got to look at ways to wear multiple hats. So my advice for anybody who is in nonprofits right now, and you're looking at, how do I move up? When an opportunity comes, take it. And even if you're not going to get paid, if you're going to learn something from it, because I am the IT person at Hope for Miami as well. So
you're the chief everything officer.
I got a hammer too. Like, if I need something handy, whatever it is, I did some plumbing work as well.
Oh my goodness!
But
your team is probably like, yes, he did.
Yeah, but I do it with I like it.
Yeah, it's a servant mentality. It's a humble place.
And I think it's just coming from a place where, as an immigrant, coming to Miami and seeing my parents work. And, work in a factory, and long days, and not being able to be a part of my life growing up. Wow. It's like, I need to take advantage of what I have here. Yeah. So I would say that is take advantage of the opportunities, because you never know when you're going to get them again. And that experience might not play out right now, but it will eventually.
Yeah, so good.
I like to tell people, it's like, there's no time the hard work does not pay off.
So true, right? Even when you don't feel like it in the moment, it does.
Those muscles will eventually get bigger.
Yeah.
If you keep working them out.
That's so good. That's so good. So let's talk then about Hope for Miami. What do you all do? Because we went right into it, right? Yeah. And people may be wondering, like, what is it that you all do?
Well, that's where I love what you do with BeStrong, because I do believe that our organizations mirror each other.
Yeah.
We do have after school and summer camp programs. We do have prevention programs when we go in and we talk to the youth about, using an evidence-based curriculum, substance abuse and the consequences, unhealthy relationships and the consequences, right? So it's just about empowering individuals to make informed decisions on their life. And it's about that prevention work. Prevention work that at times gets lost because we want to throw the money at the problem But a lot of the times, if we take the time to throw the money before it becomes a problem,
Yeah.
you foster more healthy relationships and more of a healthy community.
Yeah.
So that's what we do at Hope for Miami is we take the youth and we invest in them so they can make an informed decision on their life.
Yeah.
As a parent, you know that you're not always going to be around with your kids.
Exactly.
It's going to come a time where they need to make a decision on their own.
Yeah.
Without you in their ear.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No, they have to be able to hear that voice without you being. And that's what we hope that our kids get to. And if not, at least they make a decision that when you ask them, why did you do that? They're not going to just tell you, I don't know.
Right.
That's not the answer you want to hear.
Right.
You want to hear the thought process.
Yeah.
So you can say, okay, yeah, now I see where you went. Like, we should have not made that decision. It wasn't a healthy one. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, so good.
That's what Hope for Miami does. And then what I like to say also moving into the next phase of Hope for Miami is also being a place where we allow individuals, because we talked about a job.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So a job is a place where people go and you're going to get money to pay your bills.
Right.
But a lot of us don't get an opportunity to put in work in the community in those jobs. So a lot of the times we're being drained in our jobs. So just like BeStrong and any other nonprofit, like we want people to be able to come in and put in work in the community with us. So our volunteer programs and being able to step into the community. And as you fill somebody else's tank, you're also filling in yours.
Absolutely.
Because you've been drained at work, at your job, wherever you're at. So go ahead and put in some work in the community. So that's what I'm passionate about right now with Hope for Miami.
I love that.
Is to connect individuals with those that really need somebody just to show them that they do exist.
Yeah, and it's almost too like when you get there, you help people find their purpose, right? Because I don't know if we're always exercising our muscle of giving. We're more so on the like, okay, what's my salary?
Yeah.
What's my benefits? Me, right? And then you work somewhere for 10 plus years realizing that you've never fully given back. You're not in your purpose. You're unfulfilled. All the things that you've acquired amount to what?
Yeah.
Right?
To that little bit of time that you have to use it. And I mean, you're a faith, I'm a faith. And recently, I became more in tune with the eternal perspective of things, right? Because we're here for this amount of time, but we will look at something further than that, or longer than, bigger than that never ends. And that's where we want to make our decisions for that, and not just for the 10 years of savings that we have.
So good. Stuff that can rot and you leave here anyway for people to fight over, right?
Yeah, so it's more to life than what we see here, and I think as leaders of nonprofits, especially faith-based, with that foundation, like we have to have a different perspective of those that we lead and the communities that we serve.
Yeah, and it's showing that love and that grace and that humility too, because even what I've noticed with the team members is that there's so much even going on in their own personal lives, right? So you become, while you're one hand putting out fires, trying to ask for support, trying to get things on the right track, you're having to almost be a coach and a mentor to your team that have their own personal struggles and things. How do you deal with those challenges?
It's not easy. I mean, and even when you are so heavily funded with grants, listen, like deliverables are deliverables.
Tell me about it, right?
If you don't meet the deliverables, guess what?
You're not gonna be a business,
right? Yeah, you're not gonna get paid. You're not gonna be able to keep people employed. You're not gonna be able to serve the community. So that is always a priority that you have to do. But like you stated, we are human, and life happens to us. And it's hard to tell somebody who is coming in and they had a tough night, they have a tough start to the morning, to come in and put a smile on your face. Like, you know, when you go out to the community, when you go out to talk to the youth, because they can tell whenever you are not 100%. Yeah. And it's not easy. But we're so limited that at times, whenever I see our staff, because we do have prayer groups. Yeah. My whole family. That's nice. And I hear what they're going through, and I'm like, I can't tell. you know, and that's the beauty of what we do.
Wow.
Is that we're here with passion, and when we love what we do, that we say, I'm going to put this on the back burner and I'm going to focus on the community and then go back to that. So as a leader, it's like, how do you minimize that? And for me, it's that being like slow pace. I don't like to rush things. I'm a slow thinker. I like to have all the information before anything is decided. And I think that's just the right way, because I don't want to send somebody running to do something and then put more pressure on them and be like, oh yeah, we should have not done that.
Yeah. So good.
I want to be able to say, yeah, let's not do that right now. It's not needed. Can it wait till tomorrow? Yeah, let's wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
You go ahead, do what you need to do. Take care of your family, because family comes first.
Yeah. So
and
good.
with the Air Force, it's like service before self. And that's why I didn't connect too much with the Air Force. It's not service before self. I'm sorry. You know, it's family.
Don't let them hear you.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't complete my 24 reason. Right. I love the experience, but there's something about being able to put family in front of what we do. That keeps us grounded in what we do and serve. So it's not easy to have to tell others to do that, knowing that, because I was an instructor. I had my rough moments. But when I stepped into that classroom, the light switch went up. And it's like, I'm here for them, for you that don't have somebody in their life that talks to them in the way that we do.
And it's a lot of them.
And that
it's a lot
to them.
It's a lot.
Listen to them. So I try to minimize those things that they don't need to really have in front of them if I know that they're going through something already. So to my staff listening, if I'm asking you to do something, it's because I tried, you know, and we have to. But eventually we'll get to the point where we can say, hey, let's take a break. Yeah. Let's go ahead and slow it down.
At your level, and I would say this because sometimes I feel it, do you miss being in the classroom?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, right? It's just like, that was just like the most, you know, it's funny because I remember years back, and one of my team members, Barbara Jean, who mentions Barbara. Isn't she amazing? Yeah. She said to me, or she said to the staff, she said, you guys don't know, but this woman was teaching pregnant and working in the classroom, right? Because sometimes, you know, they're struggling with like, classes back to back that we have to go from school to school. So she would bring that up. And I actually forgot that I was pregnant teaching. Like, I'm talking about biggest day, right? But I miss those experiences because that's when you're like really in the front line. You really get to relate to those kids and pour out to them, you know? And you can see the twinkle in their eyes when they get it, when they get the messaging, you know?
Yeah, give me an opportunity. Yeah. Like I just wait for a career day. Like, you want to come to? Yes, I'm there. Mr. J, you want to go to this? We actually gone to the Department of Juvenile Justice as well. Like, you know, and that's doing nothing with deliverables. That's just like, you know what day you need me to go, I'm gonna go. And
that's important.
It's passion. It's a passion, and it fulfills you, right? And I don't want to say I'm not a people person, but kind of like networking drains me.
Right.
Right, because
you're saying stuff that people feel, they just don't want to say it out loud. You're okay. It's okay.
I love networking, but networking a lot of times is like I'm putting my hands in your pocket, or you're putting your hands in my pocket.
Yeah, like, it's transactional. It can be very transactional.
But the connection of going in, and I think that human connection that we don't really emphasize, for me, is very important, and it happens organically. And
as it always does.
When I go places, like, I'm not trying just to network. I'm trying to connect. Where do we connect? Where can we also fill you with the way that you can fill our communities? So when I go and get in front of the youth, it's like you're filling me by just listening and being respected, like, you know, respectable towards me, and I'm just looking at you and I'm just like, I'm being fulfilled and I'm filling in with something that you probably never heard or thought of, because everybody else is just not talking to you that way.
So good.
They just look at you as part of the system, and you're gonna go out and you're gonna go ahead and do the same thing and be back. Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, you're coming in with hope for Miami, right? Yeah, you're coming in with hope. I love it.
That's what we want to do.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's a thing. It's a thing that we miss. I want to ask you too, what are some additional challenges that you face as a leader? Because I know we talked a little bit about the funders and the deliverables, the people. I always tell people, if you can run a nonprofit, you can do anything in life, because you have to save the world with very little resources, right? And people just have high overreaching expectations for what you can do. And there's so many limitations that are put on us too, right? So tell me a little bit about that, and how have you overcome that, especially for nonprofit leaders that may be watching that are just coming in?
I mean, I think the biggest thing, aside from what you just said, with us as leaders, is the market out there right now. You have other employment opportunities that are offering to pay people $18, $19, 20 hours, $20 an hour without any type of degrees.
Yeah.
You know, and our positions, like, you know, because we're grants, right? And we write the grants 4 years back.
Right.
You can't really add, hey, listen, cost over here, let's increase.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's how do we compete with that market, you know, to keep our staff with us, with the little that we can do. And I think that's the biggest part, is keeping them happy. But money is a big thing.
Yeah, it is.
Being able to pay your bills on time,
Yeah.
being able to take care of what you need to take care of. Because if you are not 100%, you can't really take care of anybody.
Yeah,
else.
yeah. It's going to be difficult. You're coming to work, you're frustrated, you're upset, you're bitter.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
You have
looking
these
for the next
issues.
opportunity.
Yeah, yeah,
You're constantly on
definitely.
Indeed, you're constantly on LinkedIn, you're constantly on
Understandable,
any
yeah.
type of job posting out there.
Yeah.
And you can't hate on that.
Yeah, and it's a heavy lift. Emotionally, it's a heavy lift already.
Yeah.
You're serving the community.
Yeah, so that's the biggest part. And I think the biggest thing that we have that nobody really other sector has is that we have leaders like us that we try to empower others to take the time to listen. Take the time to listen to our staff. Take the time to understand what they're going through and see how we can connect, so they can connect their life to what they do, so they can really make that connection.
Yeah,
Because without that, it's a transaction as well.
yeah,
And with every funder, where everybody wants to come in and donate a Hope for Miami, I'm like, do you want to come and take a look at what we do?
so good.
Because if all you're going to do is give me money to put it in a program, you're eventually are going to see that coming out on your bank statement and just see a transaction without connecting to where it's actually going.
That's so good.
And I think it's the same thing with our staff. If you're just here for a job, if you have not thought about your why and how your why connects to what you're doing, then you're just wasting your time. Because that why needs to connect.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to keep you going.
So good.
reminding
Oh,
you
yeah.
of-
Especially when it gets tough.
Especially
So
when it
good.
gets
Can we
tough.
just do snaps for that? The why.
Especially when it gets tough.
I spoke to you maybe about 2 months ago, and you said to me that, and then I went and I said I had a staff meeting. I said, what's your why? Let's talk about this. What's your why? And I think sometimes we have to remember, because we get caught up too in the hustle and the bustle and phone calls and Zoom meetings, and you got to be over here and a networking event over there. And we sometimes need to take a step back, like, wait a minute, what's my why again? Because I'm frustrated, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, I actually do a workshop with my staff that I haven't done in a while, but
Yeah.
how to come up with your why. Like writing it.
I may need you to come to my team.
yeah, I'll
That's
do that.
wonderful.
I'll do that. Listen, whatever I
That's
can do. Because it's so
awesome.
good to connect. Whenever you can write it down and put your passions and what you connect and have your own personal mission statement. That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's your
So good.
mission statement. What is your mission? What are you here to do? What do you do good? What do you like to do? And that's what we do as an organization.
Yeah,
It's like
so
we have
good.
a mission. So that is what grounds us, and that is
Yeah.
what connects us. And even in our personal phase, like stage is that too. What grounds us and what connects us.
Yeah.
So why is very important.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. Well, we spent more than our time of talking to you about really life. Not even Hope for Miami. We didn't even get to go into it. But I love everything that you're saying. And I'm hoping today that people are gravitated towards you, towards your organization, because you're doing incredible work. I was able to attend your gala. Me, Barbara, Trina. Oh my God, so many amazing family of nonprofit leaders that were able to support you. And that's what I love. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to really put us all up there, because there's enough for us all. And I think people need to, if we did that more, we'd really fill a lot of the gaps that are happening in our community. And so I just appreciate you so much for coming on. I want to make sure that we play a little bit of our game here.
Sounds good.
Social Yaks. So you're going to pick the first card, because we want the audience to know more about Mr. J.
Oh, so the first one
is breaking the ice. Yep. Right. And then you're going to read it aloud and then answer the question.
It says, what's your favorite quote? Well, I think, growing up, in the time I grew up, Michael Jordan was like my favorite basketball player.
You have J's?
Yeah. Yeah. Too many of them. But I one of the things that he said is, in order to learn to succeed, you have to learn to fail. And that's so important even nowadays, because a lot of us, we don't know how to handle failure. We don't know how to handle when a door closes. We don't know how to handle when somebody tells us no. But I see no as new opportunities, right? So
I
love
that's what
it stands for. You close the door on me, and God is going to open up another. And that one was not for me. So that new opportunity is going to open up for me.
And it's a level of optimism, and it gives you peace, doesn't it?
You have
to stress out and
especially
lose hair,
especially where we are
sleep.
now. Right now,
in this part of our stage of life, it's like, come on.
There's so much that we can control.
Yeah,
and we just have to just let it go. So like people say, God, take the wheel.
Yeah,
because I can't do it no more.
Yeah,
just let me enjoy the ride and get what I need to get from this experience.
So good. Wow, you're just like nuggets of wisdom here. All right, we're gonna pull the next one. Break the ice some more.
Do you collect anything? Nuggets? Nah.
J's, Jordans.
No, I mean I use them, so I wouldn't really say a collection. I used to collect basketball cards when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was basketball was life, like the kids say. Like for me, it was ball was life. The reason why I joined the Air Force was to go play basketball. I played basketball on all the base teams that I was in. Like, but that was my thing. It's like
that's like a fun fact.
Yeah. I couldn't go to college. I didn't have the grades, get good grades. But I went, and that was thing. So it was basketball cards. I don't really collect anything. Actually, you could probably say I collect smokers. Yeah. I have like 2 smokers in my backyard because I'd be smoking like food. Like I actually did a brisket the other day. So maybe that's a collection.
That's pretty cool.
I see a new one come out. I'm like, oh, it looks pretty good. Like I got to get rid of one of these.
Smoke these.
So,
that's so cool.
Yes, but I enjoy smoking.
Very nice.
Outside.
Yeah, very cool. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Let's get a little bit more social.
Right. Which famous person in history would you want to spend a day with? I mean, I could say Jesus. Let's go ahead and make it fun. Famous person in history. I guess Paul Revere. I think just that ride. Yeah. That because you hear it in history of the states, and I'm like, you know what, just to kind of like just be riding next to him and just see how's this going, just to get everybody going, and plus I like horses, and I joke around with people. Maybe it's not even a joke. I tell them when I retire, I'm gonna go to get a farm in Nicaragua and just ride horses.
Oh, that's so cool. So when you do that, I'd love to visit with my family. Yes, that's so cool.
I'll be
so
there.
Cool.
Maybe have a coffee.
Cast a vision.
Yeah.
I love it.
If you could witness any event, past or present or future, what would it be? Gosh. I'm not a big history person.
Right.
But I think I would love going back into sports and how sports has played a big role in my life. Is to see, I think, seeing the locker room, and here's a shout out to the Heat. whenever, like, Pat Riley, like the first championship, and he brought like the 15 guys that basically they were all over the place, and how he got them to all work together, because you had like so many egos and so many different type of personalities and skill sets. For me, I value coaches, because I believe coaches have a tough role and job, and that's what we do as leaders, well, because we do coaching.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that our individuals have different types of skills, our staff,
And where they best
and
fit.
their gifts, and it's like, how do we fit them in place and get them all to just work together? So I would love to be in that locker room and just kind of take that in and see kind of like what was talked about, and how
In that
all
time.
of it came together.
Wow. To pull that off, right? Yeah.
So.
Very cool. All right, we're going to dig deeper now. Our third level.
Making me think there. What's the best advice you have ever received, and did you follow it?
You're usually the one that gives advice.
My high school basketball coach, he told me to stay away from girls.
Well, you have a son, so that did not obviously work.
I mean, but he told me, like, he just said during the season, like, whenever you're playing, and not necessarily to do anything with them, but it's like they will distract you from what you're trying to get. And when I say the ball was life, so I practice at every moment that I got, and it kind of still shows. I still go play basketball at 46. I'll be 46 next month.
Wow, you look
so I still
nothing
go
like.
play basketball with kids that are 25, with 30-year-olds,
And you put it on them.
Well, I mean, at least for 2 games. After that, I'm done. Like,
the knees.
Knees, the back, everything. I'm just like, okay, young man.
Yeah, I got this. Yes, yeah.
That's when I start like hitting them a little bit, putting my elbow out, like. But yeah, I think that was a good advice, because it not because of what he said, but it was like, you have to focus on what you're trying to
eliminate
achieve.
the distractions. Yeah,
right, and that also stuck to me, and even now it's like, because if you're focusing on 2 things, and I was thinking about 2 rabbits, right? If you're trying to catch 2 rabbits, guess what?
Yep.
You're gonna lose both.
Yep.
So you got to focus on one.
Yeah.
And that's the focus that we need to have as leaders as well, because if we all over the place, we're gonna lose everything. And
so good.
Just focus on what we need to focus on.
So good. So good. Wow. Good stuff.
If every person had a warning label, what would yours say? Oof.
It's your face.
I guess don't trust the look. A lot of people say I talk with my eyes, or they look at my facial expressions and they automatically assume what I'm thinking. And it's not always that, because I can be thinking inside of my head, and then I'm kind of like, not necessarily what you're saying. I might not agree with it, but maybe I'm just kind of like processing. Like I said, I'm a slow thinker. So I might be processing what you said, and my eyes might say something else.
Right.
But it's not that. So it's just like, don't trust the looks.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important too when it comes to relationships. Don't trust the looks.
So good. Oh yeah. We are definitely in the relationship space.
Right.
So you're going to read that one and I'm going to answer it. So what does it say?
All right. Since we started playing this game, what's something you learned about me?
Wow. I've learned a lot. But I would say,
I said, I've known you for a while now.
Yeah, but I've learned a lot just in this segment. I would say, Jay, that you are definitely a wealth of knowledge. And I don't know yet if your team has really tapped into the wisdom that you have. I hope they do, because I think it will be transformative for them and for you. And I've learned so much from you in this time that we've gotten closer over the last couple of months. You're just a great-hearted soul, man. And I'm really thankful that we connected in a deeper way like this. I know you got my back. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love it. This was great.
Yeah. And here's what I've been thinking about it. I'm like, be strong.
Yeah.
What is stronger together?
Yeah.
Hope for Miami, we're threads.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think it's all about connection with both.
Yeah.
Because when we lock hands, when we interweave together and we turn the tapestry that we do at Hope for Miami, and we build the muscles and the strength that we have with BeStrong, I mean, it's all about that connection. And that's so important.
Yeah.
So, I got your back. You know,
I love it. I love
anytime you need to vent.
I know, right? I love it. Every time I'm crying. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. I love it. Well, I want to give you this opportunity as we wrap up to just share a little bit about how people can get in touch with you, Hope for Miami. How do they connect so that they can support what you all are doing?
All right, so hopeformiami.org is where you can go and find out a little more about us. But if I was to say a call to action right now, is to find a place where you can connect your why to serving the community. Like, there's so many nonprofits out here that you can assist, that you can help with your gifts, your resources, whatever that you can give. And believe me, our youth, they just love having somebody new to talk to, somebody new that can help them out how to add 4+4. And it's not the same voices that they hear. So that would be my call to action, especially now during the holidays. Find a community, find a nonprofit, find a calling or something that you can give into. And believe me, you'll feel it when you do it with your heart, and others will as well.
I love that. I love that. So as we wrap up this beautiful segment, I hope you were truly moved by what we've both shared today. Mr. J couldn't have said it any better. Find a nonprofit that you can support and give back to, and you'll realize how fulfilled you'll become in the days ahead. Love you. See you next time.